Hi, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your spirit guide message for you for love and relationships. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before I begin this reading, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me. I will not be soliciting you for anything, so don't be scammed. Now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right, let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini. Love and relationships, Gemini. Love and relationships, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels, and spirit guides. There we go. Awesome. And now let's see what the chakra energy is for this time. And this is where we're going to need to kind of pay attention to things when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships. And this isn't just romantic love, romantic relationships, but this can be in every relationship that we're in, kind of checking into this chakra energy and knowing that we will be a little bit more sensitive, maybe even feel a little bit more off balance. So Gemini, love and relationships. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Fantastic. And then finally, the place where we need to kind of be a little bit more mindful, the energy that we need to be very mindful of. What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Love and relationships. Angels. Okay. Fantastic. Just flipped itself right over. The King of Wands. That makes perfect sense. We can get really caught up in the passion of it all, Gemini. And that could be in everything. It can be in every relationship that we're in right now. And, your mind goes first to sexual passion, which is, of course, something that we can easily get caught up in. But also, kind of, it's going to feel like the hunt. It's going to feel like, let me prove that I'm right. Or, oh my gosh, I'm really being challenged here. And this person is going to seem, it's going to seem very alluring, or it's going to be like, I'm going to prove to you that I'm right and you're wrong. And this, you have to see it my way. Like, this is so important. And that can really disrupt this time for us. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so let's see what we're crowned with here. We have the Four of Cups. So we're having a gift coming in that doesn't always feel like a gift. We have the King of Swords. So we're here represented as a king because we're represented by the swords in the minor arcana, by the lovers in the major arcana. Then we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. Time frame is October 23rd to November 21st. There we go. The Queen of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Very, very powerful. line. And then we have the Page of Wands. So this is, again, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, which is what we have to be mindful of. We're actually going to be learning a lot from these adversaries during this time. And we're rooted in the Six of Swords. We need to move forward. It's almost going to feel wrong to stay in the same spot. That doesn't mean we have to change everything up. It doesn't mean we have to move away from everything. But it does mean here that during this time, we're gathering up our knowledge and we're moving forward. And emotions can be running high, can feel like, choppy water. But we need to move towards this direction, towards this path. It's going to be very important. Now, the chakra energy for us is determination. And this is the solar plexus chakra. We are so determined during this time. It's kind of like the energy that we need to be mindful of, that we can just get so focused, so tunnel visioned during this time that it's like nothing else matters. So when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, Gemini, we're either all or nothing. There's really not much in between. It's either we are excited by the partner that we're with, or by the people that we're around, or we're bored with them. And it's kind of like the kiss of death for a Gemini to be bored. So here, there is the sense of this determination, and it can be to add spice back into a romantic relationship. It can be to take back my life and do what I want to do and move forward in a joyous, beautiful way. But there is this sense of single-minded determination, and we have to make sure that we haven't already kind of made the conclusions, and now we're just kind of trying to fit everything into place. We are also going to feel during this time that our emotions can be in a different spot than where we want to be, can be what's actually holding us back. And we have to make sure that we're in alignment, because if we're not in alignment emotionally, mentally, spiritually, we're going to find that this time it can be a mess. It can just be a mess where we think, I'm heading in this direction, it's all going to go great, and then it's not, and then, I don't know what I'm doing here, I don't know what I'm seeing, and so things can get sticky really rather easily. So just be mindful of that. Don't fall into the traps, because the traps are going to be the sense of, I'm doing the right thing, I don't want to listen to anybody, I'm heading in this direction, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh man, how did I get here, type of thing. And not even, I don't want to listen to anybody, but it's like, I already know what I'm doing, I already have the answers. So just be mindful about that. And we all go through moments like that, and it's just really good to be forewarned, because it's kind of like step back. Okay, step back, reevaluate, step back, meditate upon it, step back, you don't need to act right away, even though you'll feel like you do. So here with the King of Wands, again, it's passion coming in. We're going to be astoundingly passionate during this time. And, Gemini, it's just a place we like being. We like being in passion. We like, kind of stoking the fires and watching them leap higher and burn with ferocity. And so here we can actually see this person, especially when it comes to feeling like we found somebody to match mental wits with. We're going to think, oh my gosh, this is really fun. This is a challenge. This is a person who's playing hard to get, or who's, in a bit of a mood, but I can kind of tease them out of it, right? But this is not going to be the person for us. If we're looking for a relationship, this person is going to seem so alluring, like no joke, just absolutely playing the game, doing it really well. And we're thinking, oh, intriguing. I want to see how this ends up. This is going to be a person, though, who's really interested in themselves, and who will be playing this game with multiple different people. If we're in a relationship with this person during this time, it's not falling into their traps, because they'll try to get our tempers going. They'll try to do things, say things that just absolutely, they know, rile us up. So just be really, really mindful of this during this time, okay? We are crowned here with the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is a sense of divinity handing us a gift. We already have our gifts, but this gift is going to come forward, and it's going to be not what we're expecting. And I really see with the Four of Cups, it's not going to be exactly what we want. So we're going to be looking at things, and we're going to be looking at this gift that comes in and be like, no, this isn't for me. Or it's a burden, it's not a gift. And if we let it pass us by, we'll regret it later on. We'll be like, oh my gosh, I should have, looked at it. I should have seen it. I should have done something differently with this gift that came. If we juggle it and say, okay, it's an added burden. It's not something I really want to do. It's putting more stress on my shoulders, but I'm carrying it through. We're going to be surprised where it takes us. And I'm really curious as to see what this gift is. So angels and spirit guides, please show me Please define the Four of Cups for Gemini for love and relationships. Please define the Four of Cups for Gemini for love and relationships, angels and spirit guides. So we have here, we have the Page of Pentacles. So it has to do, it can be around a child, okay, an earth sign energy. It can also be around a very immature earth sign energy where they come in, they kind of bring questions, they see things in a very different light than us. So that's going to be very interesting. Ooh, the Four of Wands comes forward. So there's a happiness, there's a celebration. It can be around a child. For some, oh my gosh, it might be an unexpected pregnancy that comes forward. And you're thinking, oh no, like not good. Or just something unexpected to do with finances. It might be a financial burden. Or yeah, you have to kind of juggle things and make room for things. And all of a sudden it starts leading to this blessing, this security, this sense of, oh my goodness, like, this is the answers. And the Ten of Cups is, and they all live happily ever after. So it's leading you towards a happily ever after. Or yeah, it can be a person that you meet and, one day down the line, it doesn't have to be instantaneously, you wind up with a child. It can also be, I know they're not the same at all, but it can also be, adopting a pet or, purchasing a pet that is an earth sign energy. It's just going to be a nurturing earth sign energy that is around you. And it's going to be something, or they could have it, within their chart. It could be their moon or their rising or, a very prevalent aspect of their natal chart. So that's really nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. And it leads us to then being, and that makes perfect sense because it leads us to being the King of Swords. It leads us to really taking responsibility for things, which is what we're going to be doing during this time. Even when it comes to love, it's like, I'm taking responsibility for what I want. I'm taking responsibility for where it is that I want to be and for really looking at things. Do I want a long-term relationship? Do I not want a long-term relationship? What type of love do I want? Am I willing to settle? And especially as we get older, like it feels like we have to make these decisions. But for some of us, we might have already made these decisions and had these rules that we kind of lived by. And during this time with the King of Swords, people might be saying, oh, why are you being so cold? Like, why aren't you, giving them the benefit of the doubt or letting that slide? It's because the King of Swords doesn't. The King of Swords is a warrior king. If you're going to win a battle, you're going to win the battle, period, end of discussion. You're going to utilize your tools. You're going to see what needs to be seen. And you're going to go after what needs to be gone after. And during this time, that's exactly how we're going to be handling situations. So people might say, oh, Gemini, why are you being so cold or so distant or so analytical? And it's like, because I have a place I want to be. And I'm not really into mucking around. I'm not really into, just letting things slide. There's a purpose for this, and I'm moving forward in my purpose. And so during this time, we're definitely seen more than we realize. People are definitely taking notices of us and paying attention to us. We aren't going to be necessarily as aware of this as maybe we would like to be, because we would like to be able to kind of take it all in and like bask in that glory. But during this time, we're going to be so determined, so focused that it's like, okay, fine, you know what, you do you focus on this, you want to pay attention to me, that's great, but I'm heading towards where I need to be, because it's no longer a time to kind of play around, fool around. It's a time of focus and determination. And it leads us quite frankly, to the death card. It leads us to a dying away of the old self and a rebirth of the new. It also leads us to greater information than we had before. It's like secrets are revealed. Understanding starts to come in. We see things in a greater way, through a deeper lens. We start to understand why. And we're starting to see the progression of it. So instead of thinking, oh, wow, it would have been best if I, was able to be raised like this, or if I had that type of lover, or if I had that type of partner, it's like, no, everything I have gone through, even when it's horrific, has shaped me in a way that was needed for my life, was needed for me to move forward. And maybe not if it's horrific, but I still, for me, always, if things have a spiritual meaning to them, if things have a spiritual basis, it's so much more, and it's so much greater than if they don't. It almost feels like, for me personally, like I'm lost in the abyss of the world if life doesn't have a spiritual meaning. And I feel that that's so important for so many of us. And because our world says, oh, well, that's not important, that's our grandparents' stuff or our parents' stuff, it's like, well, okay, fine. But we do need that grounding. We do need a meaning. And even if it's just in myths and in legends and in the shaping of our world and the words that our ancestors spoke and the meaning behind those words. That's important. The Death card is also a connection to ancient wisdoms, to ancient understandings. And for us, we're going to be seeing things in a different light because we are different people. We've fought, we've struggled, we've embraced, we've looked at things more profoundly, more honestly, and it's changed the game. And it brings us to the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, when it comes to love, is nourishing and beautiful. And so here, when it comes to loving ourselves, when it comes to having a relationship with our being, it's embracing that loving, beautiful manner. It's embracing that heart, that being. Now, also, during this time with the Queen of Cups, we want to meet somebody who honors us emotionally. And we're going to do that by kind of quizzing them mentally. We're going to be like, well, prove it, show it. And even if we have a partner during this time or have been married for quite some time, we're going to find that we kind of test our partner. We're like, well, prove it, show it. Let me know why. And this is going to be a time where the emotions really need to be seen. So if we have a partner that isn't good at showing their emotions, that can really, really irritate us. And they might not know why, because we're kind of doing it in a very analytical or, wordy way. Like we'll tell them a story about a friend of ours who, had this beautiful love story or this beautiful love story that we heard online or that we read somewhere, and we're going to want them to respond. And they're going to be oblivious. They can very well be oblivious. But what we need here is to connect heart to heart, to say, you know what, I need that emotional understanding. I need that connection. And that's why I'm a huge fan of Carezza. And I have that linked in the description box below. That's why I always have it linked in the description box below for anybody just to wander upon and click upon, because it's a sense of opening up the emotions, opening up the heart, connecting soul to soul. And so often we value our society right now, as our society is going. It values sex, it values orgasm, it values, the peaks of everything, the peak of wealth, the peak of beauty, the peak of life. But it doesn't value anything else. And that is a tremendous loss. And that's a tremendously precarious place to find yourself. When we're embracing the Queen of Cups, it's that connection. It's like Carezza says, it's Carezza's non-orgasmic sex, which you might think, what's the point? But it's that sense of connection soul to soul. It's that sense of bonding with your partner in a way that just hasn't been done before. And it's kind of like extended foreplay, which is absolutely brilliant. I mean, who doesn't like that? And so here we're embracing love, not in the way the world looks at it, not in the way that, it has to be this passionate, brilliant thing that we'll write songs about and be remembered forever. It's that steady, beautiful, brilliant love that shines in our world, that lets us know there's a safe place to come home to, that lets us connect with our hearts and our souls and ourselves more so than ever before. The Queen of Cups connects with others. The King of Cups knows he rules only himself. So when we have the heart connecting with another's heart, even if we're single, even if we're looking for a partner, it's like, okay, but I'm going to connect with my soul. And I'm going to do this in a very spiritual way. I'm going to do this in a very real way where I say, I'm valued, I'm loved, I'm cherished, I'm worth something. And I'm going to show me that each and every day by respecting myself, by loving myself, by letting myself shine. And then that reads as other people being able to see it. Other people see that light and get drawn to it. And it brings us then to the Page of Wands, to being a student of our passion, to being a student of what we desire, to opening up the doors that we thought were locked, to understanding things that we thought, oh my gosh, that's just so silly, who could possibly be so foolish? Now we're starting to say, why not? Why can't I walk forward in love like this? Why can't I, let my passion guide me? Why can't I have meaningful relationships instead of, a bazillion relationships with people, like surface relationships that with people I don't know, but who just follow me, and I follow them, and we are, internet friends and stuff like that. But where are the friends that will come and give you and send you or give you a cup of soup when you're sick? there's a sense here of meaningful relationships and being a student of meaningful relationships, because in our world, we have become students of the superficial, and that has been held in the highest regard. Now there needs to be more. It might seem like there's less, but the quality outdoes the quantity. And so there is more of a connection, more beauty, more understanding, more brilliance. And it leads us to the Six of Swords of taking up our knowledge, taking up our understanding, and moving forward. The waters are choppy, the emotions run high, the heart is roar, and things are real. And now it's like, okay, but where do I want to be? What is it that I desire? What is it that I'm looking for? Why is it that I matter? What is the value here? And it's asking these questions, not necessarily expecting to find an answer, but in asking the questions, it opens up our mind. And I really want to see here, please show me the power of the Queen of Cups for Gemini, love and relationships. Please show me the power of the Queen of Cups for Gemini, love and relationships. It leads us to the Chariot. Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic. It can lead us to meeting a Cancer. Okay. If we're born on the cusp with Cancer, this is a part of our personality that is enhanced. But this is a sense here of being able to be the charioteers of our love, to be able to guide ourselves forward. And remember, the charioteers, the chariots, were driven into war by kings and queens. I mean, it's one hypothesis that that's how King Tutankhamun died, was that he fell off of a chariot. So here, there is this sense of majesty and power that leads us forward. And it's the majesty and power that comes to love, that embraces love, that is a part of love, and that makes love a part of us. All right, let's look at our spiritual message, or spirit guide message, or spiritual message. Show me for Gemini, for love and relationships. Gemini, love and relationships. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, goodness. Hope. I love that. So the old quote, which can seem rather fatalistic, live in hope, die in despair, comes up. And that's what some of us are going to think when we see this hope. It's like, do you know how long I've been hoping, Dane? Like, do you know how much work I've done on myself and how much I've put me out there? And I don't have anything to show for it. Hope was the last thing left when Pandora opened the box that she was told never to open. When chaos and famine and hurt entered the world, what human beings were left with was hope. And the thing about hope is that it tends to come across and it tends to come into being in a way quite different than what we expect. We can say, oh, I hope for the love of my life to come. And he has to be, 6 feet tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, this and that. But the love of our life walks by, doesn't look anything like that, and we let them go. No, letting love come into our lives, hoping, dreaming, keeping our souls open. It's saying to divinity, I'm letting you guide me. I'm letting you bring me to something more, which you could argue takes away accountability from the individual. Well, yes, because we can have preconceived notions. We can have, this certain way of thinking that says, oh, it just has to be like this. And then when we start to open up our eyes to what it is that we greatly desire, to where it is that we greatly want to be, and we start to let hope guide us, we say to divinity, guide me, show me, gain me an understanding. And let me live in your purpose instead of what I think my purpose is. Let me live in what you know my purpose is. That changes. That changes the game. And it brings us then to our spirit guide animal. Gemini. Love and relationships, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Okay, these two. The spider spirit, which says make your dreams real. And the bear spirit, take time out. Take time out to make your dreams real, to connect with your heart, to say, this is what I want, and this is what I hope for, and this is what I need, and this is where I want to be within my life. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm just being fanciful and overly dramatic or creative, and life isn't like that. It's saying, yeah, okay, finding that one person to absolutely complete us in every single way is a recipe for failure. We don't get that. Life isn't about finding a partner that gets to be our best friend all the time, the person who never ticks us off, the person who always listens to all our problems, the person who always laughs at all our jokes. One person isn't enough. We need a community, okay? We need family, we need friends, we need a community to fill in the void. The fact that we've been sold this lie that one person can be our everything, and we can be the everything for everybody, for that one person. It's not right. It's just not right. And so here, when we are creating, when we are making our dreams real, we're also having to remember that we need more than just one person in our lives to be an amazing lover from the time we meet to the time we die, to just fulfill everything. Now it's like, I want somebody who sees me for who I am, who I connect with and am attracted to sexually, but also spiritually, and who helps me grow into a better, more powerful person. And then we find the people in our lives that can listen to us when we're ticked as all heck at that person, who, can laugh with us, who like our same movies, our same books, who don't roll our eyes at the 18th millionth time we've told the same joke. So here the spirit animal is just saying, make your dreams real, but take time out also to make sure those dreams are obtainable and not a bag of lies we were sold. The subconscious spirit animal message is the stag spirit. Take the leap. Take the leap to love. Not only just romantic love, but to love the people in our lives, to love the connections that we have. It moves us then to our subconscious spirit message, which is goddess, the unseen beauty, the unseen connection, a sense of strength and power. This can also be connecting with the goddess myths from bygone ages, seeing the beauty. And it can also be the Sophia within the Christ, what is it? I forgot, starts with an S in Judaism. It always makes me think of the singer Shakira, but it's not that name. I can't remember it. But it's connecting with that beautiful female undertone within our world and within our lives. And maybe it doesn't have to be an undertone, but everything, I feel like the beautiful masculine energy within our lives is the undertone, again, to our own creation. We tell our stories, our truths, our understandings. And then we have the undertone of divinity woven in there. And it's listening. This leads us to our subconscious chakra message, which is flexibility, the sacral chakra. Now, the sacral chakra is complicated because the sacral chakra is where our sexual energy and our creative energy is held. But it's also where a lot of the negativity from this life and past lives are held. So our sexual creative energy can be stunted just simply because we have lived. And so here it's embracing a flexibility of mind, of heart, of soul, of spirit, of what we desire, of what we're looking towards. And it's opening ourselves up to finding the balance within ourselves. And it can be every day kind of, just standing on one foot for just a little bit or doing a little bit of yoga and saying, am I in balance with myself? Am I balanced? It leads us to our subconscious person message, which is the Prince of Swords. Now, the Prince of Swords is, of course, us as princes, charging forward, slaying dragons, going after what we want. We need to think before we act because we can get very caught up in things. So just giving a bit of mindfulness to situations is going to be so very important. And that's also what we're going to need to be mindful of with others, is that we're going to think, oh my gosh, they have the answers. This is awesome. They're charging forward. I'm going to charge right along with them. We all get caught up together. It's a great run, but it doesn't last long. So just be mindful of that. Our subconscious tarot message is the Four of Wands. And we saw that over the Four of Cups, so that's absolutely beautiful. The Four of Wands is celebration and brilliance and happiness and joy and the leading to they all live happily ever after. It's the beginning of the story. Here, we have a foundation for a beautiful beginning because we're connecting deeply and truly with our truth, with our wisdom and brilliance forward. The Four of Wands is happiness and marriage and celebration and contentment. And it doesn't have to ever mean that anybody gets married, but it does mean that we find contentment and balance within our lives. And if we are married, it is deepening that connection, and it is moving forward towards joy. But it can also be realizing that the joy is gone, and I have to deepen my connection and my marriage to myself and see where it is that takes me. All right, Gemini, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we own this time quite fiercely. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.